there's a lot of teams where the two best players don't get along, or they don't hang out, they don't associate with each other. There's a disconnect, and they figure out how to have a working relationship. I think that we all have coworkers. You guys have coworkers that you have a working relationship with, but you're not seeing them when 5 p.m. when you clock out. So, having that relationship, understanding how to balance each other. And then I think it's a maturity factor that we're understanding that we have to do whatever it takes to win. We've gone through a lot of, I haven't been an all-star, but I've had individual success. He's had individual success, been an all-star. You're judged on what you do in the playoffs, winning, advancing. So that's what our main focus and our main goal is going forward. And I'm sure he's thinking the same thing. I'm sure the organization and staff are thinking the same thing. How can we be great elite players who help our teams win and move forward? Because that's how you're remembered.
All right, very impressive soundbite right there from young vet, CJ McCollum. But let's talk about that dynamic about, do you have to love each other to come together and win together, or can you win together not loving each other on the court and off the court?
Well, the fact of the matter is this. CJ and Dame have a great relationship. But if it doesn't translate to wins, the organization does not care. CJ just said, we have to do whatever works best for us. The organization will as well. So you guys may get along fantastic. If that doesn't translate to postseason success, it's time to make moves.
I spent a little bit of time with CJ McCollum this offseason at Dwayne Wade's Blueprint Clinic, and he was talking about how they coexist together and they communicate and talk, and the foundation and the structure of their relationship is extremely firm and strong. But like Antonio said, it has to result to wins. I think that Coach Terry Stotts done a magnificent job with them in the backcourt, giving them space, utilizing them, player usage. But other guys have not developed. Other guys have not been efficient around them. And then you lose so much. You lost Ed Davis, you lose Shabazz Napier, guys that really support that cast. So I feel like they're regressing, but on that backcourt talent alone, they can get you in the playoffs by having astronomical numbers and astronomical performances night in and night out throughout the marathon of the season. But when the playoffs come, they're done. Like they ran out of gas, and now you have to rely on Aminu and other guys to step up in a major way.
That's difficult to do. That's very, very hard to do. And he can speak to this being an all-star, but just to do that on a night-to-night basis. And like you said, when the playoffs come around and you're not playing some of the lower-tier teams anymore, you're playing against really good defensive teams that have an opportunity to really prepare for you and what you bring to the table. It's tough to have that same success in the playoffs, especially when you are strictly a backcourt basketball team. And I agree with you. You need some other guys around CJ and Dame to step up and provide as well.
So that's the bottom line. Okay, let's bottom line it right here. You've got Dame at like 25 to 28 PPG. You've got CJ at about 22, 23 PPG. So bottom line, is it on those other guys? Is there anything more Dame and CJ can do?
I say no, because you look at the three guys in Nurkic, McCollum, and you look at Dame. Those are the three guys who have the player stoppage, the ball movement. It stops with them because they're isolation-type players. So if they have to do more, that means that the others will have to do much less, because they're not going to have a chance, the 1-1,000, the 2-1,000, to operate offensively with the basketball. And then defensively and offensively, they play at a different pace. So things have to change there rather quickly right now while those guys are in the prime of their career.
So the biggest offseason move made by the Blazers was re-signing Jusuf Nurkic, 4 years, $48 million. Pretty good price at a guy last year going 14.3 points, 9 boards, 1.4 blocks in 26 minutes per game. Will his new contract bring new confidence?
I definitely think so. It's a different game when you understand you're wanted. You're wanted. This team brought you back for a reason, because, like you said, they have two good guards, two great guards. But now they need a third scorer. They need someone else that they can count on when Damian Lillard's not going, when CJ McCollum's not going. Someone they can throw the ball to on the box and say, you know what, I know the NBA is about pace and space, but we need to drop the ball to you and get us a bucket on that block. With new contract comes new confidence. So hopefully with that $12 million per year, Jusuf Nurkic will understand how much he is wanted and also needed for this Portland Trail Blazers basketball team.
New confidence also come new responsibilities. And offensively, he's going to get played through. They're going to use him as a facilitator to operate on the offensive end of the floor. But most importantly, the problems that he had in Denver when he was there is protecting the basket. You have to be a guy that's going to be a threat down there night in and night out consistently. Whether you have the ball, whether you're getting the ball in the feeds and the touches, you have to be a wall, a tree down there night in and night out to protect that rim.
It's interesting, right? At Denver, Nurkic and Jokic kind of rose together, and they had a decision to make. They ship out Nurk. The Joker is now a superstar in the NBA. Nurkic just got paid, but obviously the starting center for Portland, and they are happy to have him. So we are just getting started on the Portland Trail Blazers preview. Coming up, you will hear from three-time All-Star Damian Lillard on the reason for this wacky workout video. You're already laughing.
I love it.
On Media Day, that's kind of how it goes when you're the face of the franchise, and our Ro Parrish caught up with him.
He's an all-star. He is an all-NBA performer. He is the fearless leader of the Portland Trail Blazers. Dame Lillard joins us. First day of school, you feeling good? Getting ready to start this season?
I feel great, man. I had a great summer. I'm excited, going into my 7th season. It came quick, man.
So you said you had a great off-season. I had a chance to witness some of your off-season workout videos. They were spectacular. How much fun was it to shoot those videos?
It was a lot of fun. I actually had a run-in with somebody on Twitter. The guy was like, I haven't seen Dame at no pickup games in New York and L.A. He ain't posting no workouts. He haven't been in the gym at all. He just rapping, and, he had a whole lot to say. So, I made fun out of it.
Yes,
and
that
did
you did.
What I see a lot on Instagram.
Yeah, because, in off-season workouts, nobody ever misses a shot ever. Everybody's a 99, right?
Right.
Now, but way to see you get that done and have fun with. But let's talk about last season. Of course, you guys finished 3rd in the West, end up getting swept out of the playoffs by the Pelicans. Yeah. Talk about how much that hurt and how it motivated you going into this season.
It hurt a lot, not only as a competitor, but just after all that we did in the regular season. We in a tough Western Conference, we finished 3rd. We got home court for the first time since I've been in the league. And everybody was real confident. We felt real good going into the playoffs. And, we ran into a team that was playing really well. They had a great game plan. And, they made the game tough for us. And, I think the most simple way to put it is they outplayed us. We didn't show up and play as well as we needed to. We got swept, but it's a it's a league of men. We professionals, and one team gets to win the championship. So we just gotta keep that in our mind and remember that it happened. We gotta move on and stay confident, stay inspired, and just try to be better about it next time. But it's something that you just can't hold on to. So it I guess stunts our growth or stops us from moving forward.
So you're already playing in a tough Western Conference. Now LeBron decides to take his talents out west to the Lakers, making the Western Conference that much more tougher. How do you prepare yourself mentally to go to battle night in and night out against these tough teams?
I think the good thing for us is we've been in the Western Conference. We know that whether it's the best team in the West or, the worst team on paper in the West, you're going to have a tough game. And when you've been a part of that your entire career, I think every year that's what you come in expecting. So, obviously you'll have the Lakers with LeBron. They'll be elevated to a new level. You'll have other teams that added someone to the team. The Rockets added Melo. Paul George going back to OKC with another year, where they playing together and another year of experience. So I'm sure it'll be a lot of teams will get better. It'll be a little bit tougher, but that's what the Western Conference has been since I've been in the league. So, we ready for whatever.
Speaking of ready for whatever, you and your backcourt mate CJ, y'all been dominant, one of the most dynamic duos for the past 3 seasons. What can we expect in year 4 from you two?
I think more of the same. I think each year we come back and we challenge ourselves to be better at things that we weren't great at and to continue to do what we do. We score the ball, we compete, give people trouble every night. And now we've come and, we've been a 3 seed in the playoffs and we underperformed. Now we got to be able to back up that type of performance in the regular season, but then elevate ourselves in the playoffs. So I just think more of the same, but maybe a little better.
So what are your personal goals, number one, and what are the team goals for you? What would constitute a successful season for the Trailblazers?
I mean, I try not to look too far ahead, but I think coming out of the tough Western Conference again, and earning a playoff spot, you get to the playoffs, and I just really want to get to the playoffs and have a really, really solid performance. I think each year you try to find something to motivate yourself or push yourself. And I think this year is going to be, try to back up what I did last year, but then when we get to the playoffs, have a strong performance, and really lead my team to that next step.
Great job there by Rowe and Dame. And we were talking while listening, and we all agree that he's a future Hall of Fame player. But let's talk social media. A lot of NBA players are super active on social media. Dame, of course, is one of them. Where did that tweet rank with all the offseason tweets you saw?
That was number one.
Number one.
I'm sorry. That was number one for me. We was laughing about that. That was number one for a number of reasons. You got a dude shooting a Nerf gun at you. He's hula hooping. He's doing all sort of stuff. Because if you see workout videos, not just pros, but you see guys putting kids through a whole bunch of different things that kind of seem useless.
Yeah.
So to actually see a pro do it, and the pro being Damian Lillard, to be at that level, to kind of poke fun at it, I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was extremely funny. And, I do it all the time where I'm going into 360 or Lifetime, and I see guys in there playing against cones, playing against ghosts. And in reality is you have to play against real speed, real length, real physicality.
Real people.
Yeah, real people to help your game, because people have real reactions. And like you said, guys shooting 85, 90%. Playing against ghosts. That's not the reality of the association. It's not like that. People game plan for you. They play you to your weaknesses, and you have to be ready for those moments.
All right, so let's dive into the depth chart, our projected depth chart for these Blazers. And they added 4 new guards, and Seth Curry, Wade Baldwin, a couple of veterans, as well as draft picks Anthony Simons and Gary Trent Jr., Mo Harkless, Evan Turner, and Al Farouk Aminu hold down the forward positions, and Collins and Leonard provide depth behind Yusuf Nurkic. So, AD, let's talk Evan Turner. Are the Blazers getting enough on their investment into Evan Turner?
See, this is what the NBA has turned into. They match your contract with your numbers. It's tough because Evan Turner is who Evan Turner is. Okay, he gave you 8 points a game last year on 45% from the field, and he can give you a little bit more than that. But his ceiling thus far as to what he has shown is 17 points a game, one of the years in Philly. So I don't know what they're really expecting out of him, but he does give you an additional ball handler and a guy to create shots for himself and also his teammates.
All right, so, and Karan, I want to get you talking about Al Farouk Aminu, who is the power forward for this team. 10 years ago, he would not have been playing power forward in the National Basketball Association. So is he being played out of position, and do you like his overall game?
He is, and a lot of guys are, but the reality of the story is he has to be that third guy that can be consistent. Saw flashes of it in the playoffs, 17, 9 rebounds per game, 40+% at the three-point percentage. 50+% at the field. Twos, he has to be consistent going forward for this ball club.
All right, so let's take a break. This is the Blazers preview, and on the other side, the starters are going to tell you if these Portland Trail Blazers should trade CJ McCollum. Blazers fans are like, earmuffs, I can't do this. This is the Blazers preview on NBA TV. Oh, no.